Things are rocking with No Masks Sask. We're up to 2,600 members, just about, we're close. And things are really taking off. Except, I can't tell you what kind of interference we're dealing with over here. You would think we were a political party or something. Because the sabotage is out of control. Instagram is finally getting under control. And that's honestly not due to me. It's due to some superhero guy with these red flaming eyes. And he's taken to teaching the university students some manners first and foremost, but defending the people that believe in choice. It's pretty wild to go and watch what goes down over there. And I am starting to interject in conversation now, and that's after 2 weeks of the Instagram attack, in which at the time it happened, we had 2 followers. We had 4, but I was the other 2. We had just started a few days before. And this is why I knew it was an absolute concerted attack. Because you don't get thousands of comments when you have 2 followers. It was an organized attack. And I'm putting together all of that organization now that was part of that. And it's pretty interesting to see. Everybody wonders why things never change. It's not the process so much, honestly. It's the interference when you're just getting off the ground. Since I got involved in this in Regina, now of course I was doing my videos prior to the lockdown. I was exposing Agenda 2030, the UN plan. That's not a conspiracy. It is a publicized plan, and it is your future. Canada has their document, Agenda 2030. We have our own, and of course it was hidden until after the election, because if Canadians had ever understood what was in that document, it would have been a lot of election issues, not just the superficial ones they threw at you. The thing is, all of this is going on the ground. We're organizing and we're being infiltrated. Of course, I started calling out Q as a psyop in the fall. I was being quiet about it before because I could see that it was very polarized. And it was funny because a lot of truthers, when they meet their new friends and they actually understand them, then they're a little bit subject to some of their ideas that are way off in the ethers. I believe that there are a lot of layers, and I don't know that we will ever unearth them all. But even before I got involved, and the minute I got involved, I had interference. To the point I parted the first group. I started a second group, and that was infiltrated by Q within a week. And I parted company and took all my materials too. I like the girl that's doing it, and I like a lot of their members. And we have a lot of crossovers, but Q is where I draw the line because I cannot support a psyop. I can't. I've watched it absolutely divide truth, and I knew it was going to be used against us. I knew it. I called it. And of course, it started a month and a half ago after my first interview. I did one with Global. And then they ran a national article and they put my name in it. But then they took a quote from a previous interview in which I was not consulted, and then put a quote from me, and then added Q into the article at the bottom as to associate. Because this is the narrative that the media and government are actually working in tandem to create. And the deep state. Yes, Canada, we have a deep state, and it is alive and well. And I can tell you it is because I'm dealing with it every single day. Discrediting is the name of the game. And of course, after Vancouver's very successful protest on Sunday, apparently they had about 3,000 people. That's the word from the people that were there. And the media reported 700. And then put an article together, putting Q conspiracy theorists and these people together to discredit. Why? So that they don't get 10,000 next protest. And that's exactly why they do it. Of course, when they did that with me here in Saskatchewan, I thought it was hilarious. You see, I pulled my LinkedIn in March because I was anticipating this. I didn't want them to know who I was when they interviewed me. And I told them I was a concerned citizen, and then they went for my throat. But I've had some positions here in this province, and it kind of makes them look bad if they make me look bad. Because I was on the board of Saskatchewan Trade and Export Partnership. I was. I've promoted this province for years and years, and I love it here. And it was, for me, the opportunity that I needed in my, I guess it was my late 30s, mid 30s, when I moved here to start a hemp food company. Everybody was leaving, if you don't remember. That was back in 2000. And I came here for the opportunity, and I was rewarded with 2 grants from the government for diversification, because hemp was a new frontier here. I've made sure I've disassociated myself with Q from the get-go for this very reason. And it's actually now being used against our credibility. Not mine, but unfortunately at these events, this is exactly what it's about. And they're going to, it doesn't matter if there's 5 Q supporters in the crowd of 3,000, because they're just making it up as they go. This is how dirty it is. And here's another indication of dirty. So there's a girl that is associated with our group. She's been down protesting, and we're like a lot of different groups. And I met her through another group initially. And she's pretty upset about what's going on. She is. And has made some serious decisions, familial decisions, including education. She's also, and was part of the attack on her Instagram account. And she's seeing right before her very eyes what is going on right now. And again, the level of interference and the fact that these elections and all of this going on, it doesn't matter what we do because we are committed to Agenda 2030. She started a little business, and I thought it was really cute because it involves her dad, and they're making decals, and one of them's called Fuck the Mask. Now, see, this is where I get torn because, see, I love her, and I love her innovation and the fact that she is creating something and transmuting this negativity into something entrepreneurial, something that can support her family. But she also wants to give some money to us. She does, because we need financing in order to grow this. So I told her I couldn't really take the fuck the mask considering the polarization of the issue. So I said I would take the mask if it was, she has a little pow in the middle of the U. And that one, well, you know, we can get away with that. And then she has some other cute ones that I thought were interesting. But what I told her is that why don't you set yourself up as a business? You do that because you're already doing it. And whatever money you raise and you want to give to No Masks SASK, then we will do it as a donation. And she agreed. What happened last night, and luckily again that I hold on to the feed, because a guy tried to post something and it was inciting. Listen to this. MJ people. Now, if you don't know MJ is Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, okay? MJ people from No Mask Sask. We are selling fuck your mask decals and less vulgar ones as well. Money from the proceeds go to create Anita mask video, and it will be available to all groups. Anita mask video. Just so you understand, Antifa. Yeah. So this guy, now first day he got in the group, my spidey senses were tingling and I decided to watch him. He was on my list. And it was within his first few posts that I saw something a little off, so I messaged him. In any case, he's now removed. This is designed to actually incite hate. And this is what happens. 3 days ago, it was the clown mask. Now, the thing is, I had no idea how significant the clown was. I really didn't, because I'm not a kid. I don't have any kids. Because the Instagram attack, it was all clown heads. Clown, 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 clown. So, of course, when I see the clown mask, it's like, no, that's not going here. I'm having to, unfortunately, hold back information so that we are protected. Every single day I find a troll. And that's pretty good considering the first week. The bottom line is that there are all sorts of parties trying to associate us with hate. And that's just not correct at all. I'm not a hater at all. But guys like this Robert Gallagher, he's trying to make me look like a hater. Yes, he is. And I'm not tolerating it. Apparently there is another video, also a project out there. And I have nothing to do with it. No masks. None. If, in fact, I endorse a fundraising project for No Masks SASK, it will be made official by us. So anybody out there claiming to raise money on our behalf, that's not correcto. Not at all. If they want to go out with their own projects or their own innovations and be entrepreneurs, because I totally am behind that. Because all and any of your integration out there is going to be a danger with public health coming up. It is. So I encourage you to become the entrepreneur, to shelter yourself from the carnage of Agenda 2030. Because making this shift is going to be very difficult for a lot of people. We're shifting into a new way of being. Socially, culturally, economically. They haven't quite broken the circular economy to you yet, but I talk about all this in my videos. I think all these letters are fabuloso going off to all these officials. But guess what? We are so reliant on all that technology that I don't trust it. And I think it's being used against us. So my idea here is that every bit of every letter, all of that needs to be collected. We need the physical representation of it. We need to show the opposition. We have an election coming up here in Saskatchewan, and guess what? There's nobody for freedom. Right now, we're under a state of emergency, and it's not an emergency. That's a fact. Are they planning to make us vote while we are under a state of emergency? Because that wouldn't be correct. What I'm understanding more clearly all the time is the fact that there's no way out of this, kids. This is a steamroller, and it is Canada complying with Agenda 2030 goals. The only way out is out of the UN. Do you think we have time for Canada to do that? I don't think so. With the amount of interference I see here, that's not a choice. The thing is, they never put any of this by us. We've never heard of any of this, and this is why I embarked on teaching people about Agenda 2030. It is the end to democracy because these goals cannot be achieved in our democracy. In Saskatchewan, we're in a unique position. We are, because we have a small population. And I can't believe I'm saying this because I've been thinking about it a lot. And in fact, in the spring, I even made a video about autonomy. And I decided to table it. But now that I'm seeing what's going on, somebody brought me this flag on the weekend, and I carried it proudly because I am Canadian and I love my country. But unfortunately, our country in Canada that I grew up in is on its way out. And we're dealing with an agenda that, again, cannot be achieved with our rights intact, with our freedoms. We need to understand that unless Canada ends its obligations with this plan and the United Nations, there is no way out. But there might be for Saskatchewan on its own. These are thoughts. We know there's a Wexit movement, but I see that's completely disorganized. And this is what happens with all of these movements, is the disorganization. And the fact that there is so much controlled opposition, and every time you make a gain, you're intercepted. As much as I want to write all these letters for masks in schools, like I say, the agenda is clear in the schools. And if you keep them in and keep educating them in their system, it's actually designed so that they work against you as the parent. I know that you don't understand about these documents, and when you do get into them, you look and you say, oh, it looks like sunshine and roses, sustainability. It's not. It's going to be painful to get there. And the fact that in order to comply, they need to steal our freedom has to be our first indication that this is not the Canada we know and love, and we might have to make alternative arrangements if we want to maintain our medical freedom.